Today is the new class that is the continuation of the last class which we have done about the external features of the heart. So in the previous class you have looked about the what are the external features of the heart we have looked. So we know that the heart consists of four chambers. So the four chambers of the heart are right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium and left ventricle. So we have dealt in detail about the external features of the heart. So what we have dealt in the last class is the surfaces of the heart, then about the borders of the heart. So which region is related to which border and all we have dealt in the last class. Okay, so today it is the about we'll go into the interior of the heart. So last we have looked about the external features. So today we'll look about the interior, means the internal features of the heart. See, this we are looking about the interior of the heart. So here in the figure you are looking about the interior of the atrium. This is the interior of the right atrium you are looking here. So we look into the detail about what are the features and everything you look about the interior of the right atrium in this class. So now coming to the chambers of the heart. So first we look into the right atrium. So in this figure you can see this is a part you are looking. This is called as a right atrium. So you can clearly see, no, this is the what you are looking, that is called as a right atrium. So first we'll deal about the external features of the right atrium. It forms the sternocostal surface, right border and 1/3 of the base of the heart. Here you see a conical projection on the right atrium towards the ascending aorta, that is called as the right auricle. So you can see a conical projection arising from the right atrium. That conical projection close to the ascending aorta is called as a right auricle. Next, what is external features you see in the right atrium is there is a shallow vertical groove which will extend from superior vena cava to the inferior vena cava. That part is called as sulcus terminalis. Externally, this part we call it as sulcus terminalis. Internally, it is called by a crista terminalis. So these are the external features of the heart. So what you can see here is, you can see the right auricle and one groove here. That groove is called as a sulcus terminalis externally. The internally it is called as a crista terminalis. So these are the external features of the right atrium. So clearly you can see here, see this is a sulcus terminal. Okay, this is a conical projection. Then one more, you can see a groove which will separate the right atrium from the right ventricle. You can see a groove here. You can see clearly a groove here. The groove which separates the right atrium from the right ventricle is called as a atrioventricular groove. The groove lodges the vessels. You can see here the artery running and there is one blue color area that is called vein. In the groove, in the atrioventricular groove, you see the vessels running. So these are the external features of the right atrium. Next, now we'll go to the interior of the right atrium. Okay. The cavity of the right atrium present three walls. The walls are called as anterior, posterior and septum. So the interior, or we call it as a cavity. The cavity of the right atrium present three walls. The walls are anterior, posterior and the septal walls. There are three walls, anterior, posterior and the septal wall. Okay, see here you can see the cut open. They have cut open of the interior of the right atrium. So what are the features you see? So I told there are three walls. One is called anterior wall, one is the posterior wall, and one more is called a septal wall. So first in detail we'll see about anterior wall. So the anterior rough wall consists of two features there. One is called a crista terminalis, one more is called a musculi pectinati. One is called a crista, one more is called as musculi pectinati. Okay, what is this crista terminalis? See, I told you, crista terminalis is a smooth muscular ridge which extend from the upper part of the interatrial septum. It passes in front of superior vena cava to the right border of the heart and up till the orifice of the inferior vena cava. So what this does is the crista terminalis separates the anterior rough wall from the posterior smooth wall. You can see the separation. The crista terminalis is separating the anterior rough wall from the posterior smooth wall. So these two parts are separated by the crista terminalis. So outside the same part you see a groove that is called a sulcus terminalis. So the upper part of the crista terminalis, it consists of a node. You have heard about SA node. Have you heard? That is called a sinoatrial node. You see a node here. It is called as a sinoatrial node. The SA node is present at the upper part of the crista terminalis. Then you see a muscular ridges. Okay. The muscular ridges extending from the crista terminalis are directed towards right atrioventricular orifice. So comb-like appearance you see here, they are called as musculi pectinati. Look, in this diagram you can clearly see. See, this is the heart. You can see this is the heart they have drawn. Okay, this is the opening of the superior vena cava above, opening of the inferior vena cava below, and this is a rough part. You can see here the comb. This is the part called a crista terminalis, and these are the part what you're looking, they are called as a musculi pectinati. You can clearly see. Okay. Okay, these are what are the features you see in the atrium proper, otherwise called an anterior rough wall. Now next, we look into the next, it is called as the posterior smooth wall. The posterior smooth wall is also called as sinus venorum. It presents the following features in the Okay, it presents the following features. What it has is a major opening of the veins. So the veins which carry the deoxygenated blood from the body to heart itself. You know all right atrium carries the deoxygenated blood. So this blood will come from the major veins. So the major vein which drain into right atrium are superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, coronary sinus is a part of the heart, and small opening you see that is called foramina venerum minimarum. So these are the features you see in the posterior smooth wall. So opening of superior vena cava, opening of inferior vena cava, then opening of coronary sinus and foramina venerum minimarum. Okay, these are the features you see there. Okay, next is in this. See, then the next is the septal wall. What do you mean by septal wall? Septal wall, it is like septa. Septa means it separates. It separates the right atrium from left atrium. The right and the left atrium is separated by the wall. That name only written, interatrial septum. What do you mean by interatrial septum? That separates the right atrium from left atrium. So the two atrium are separated by interatrial septum. So you see the features there. So the feature are fossa ovalis, limbus fossa ovalis or annulus ovalis, triangle of Koch, then tendon of Torador and the atrioventricular orifice, which is the largest opening. You see all this in the septal wall. So look in the figure here, you are seeing this part. So you can see here, what you can see is the first, the oval. You can see the oval depression, this part. This is called as fossa ovalis. What is fossa ovalis? Is an oval depression in the at the region of the interatrial septum. So what it has got importance. Okay, what is the importance of this is in the fetal life. In your fetal life, what happens is the blood from the right atrium is directly flows into the left atrium through the foramen. There is a foramen. Foramen means a opening called as foramen ovale. So this is called as a foramen ovale. Okay, this opening is closed. After birth, what will happen is there will be after the birth. After the birth, what will happen is the blood or the pressure in the left atrium will be more, so that will lead to that will close the interatrial septum. Okay, this opening is closed immediately after the birth. The depression below this opening form fossa ovalis. So what is fossa ovalis is an oval depression. In fetal life, the right and left atria are communicated. So there is a communication between right and left atria through foramen called as foramen ovale. This opening is closed immediately after the birth. The depression below this opening forms fossa ovalis. Next is limbus fossa ovalis. This part is called a limbus fossa. Limbus fossa, it is a sharp margin surrounding the fossa ovalis in its upper, okay, anterior and posterior margin. The next comes triangle of Koch. This is a triangle of Koch. A triangle of Koch is a triangular area behind the septal leaflet tricapsid wall. It consists of a node called as AV node. So these are the features you see in the septal wall. To summarize about the right atrium, we have looked into the interior of the right atrium. So the interior of the right atrium consists of three parts: anterior rough wall, posterior smooth wall and the septal wall. So the anterior rough wall consists of crista terminalis and muscula pectinati. Explain about it. Posterior smooth wall consists of opening of veins, superior vena cava above, inferior vena cava below, coronary sinus and small opening called as a vena cordis minimi. Then is the septal wall, which consists of oval depression called a fossa ovalis, and the small like the margin is called a limbus fossa ovalis. Here comes a triangle called as the triangle of triangle of Koch. Hmm. Then comes the right atrioventricular orifice. You see here, this is called as the atrioventricular orifice. Okay. Next, we'll look into the next part called as a right ventricle. Okay, so you see this is called as a right ventricle. This is the part you're looking called as a right ventricle. The right ventricle forms the which surface of the heart? If you look the right ventricle form, what are the external features of the right ventricle? You have to tell first. So the external features of the right ventricle, if you see, it forms sternocostal surface, diaphragmatic surface and inferior border of the heart. So you can see here sternocostal surface, diaphragmatic surface and inferior border of the heart. Okay, then comes the internal features. The internal features of the right ventricle, it consists of two parts here. So rough inflowing part and the smooth outflowing part. You can see here, this is the rough inflowing part and the smooth, the outflowing part. Okay, see here, the right ventricle forms the sternocostal surface, diaphragmatic surface and the inferior border of the heart. When you come to the internal features of the heart, the interior of the right ventricle consists of two parts. rough inflowing part called as ventricle proper and smooth outflowing part called as the infundibulum. So the two part are there. Remember, rough inflowing part and smooth outflowing part. Now we'll go in detail about the part, first one, about rough inflowing part. What it does, right ventricle. So the blood, what happened? Receive blood from right atrium. This part is very rough. Why? The roughness of this part is due to presence of muscular ridges called as trabecular carneae. The trabecular carneae are of three types. They are called ridges, bridges, and papillary muscle. Ridges, bridges, and papillary muscles. So you can see in this figure. So we'll go see, this is a cut section. This is called as the right ventricle. Okay, the right ventricle consists of three parts: ridges, bridges, and papillary muscle. So we look in detail of first one, ridges. What is ridges? Is a muscular elevation which separates the rough inflowing part from the smooth part. So this is an example for it, that is called as a supraventricular crest. Example for the ridges is supraventricular crest. So it separates the rough inflowing part from the smooth part. It is called as supraventricular crest. Then the next you are looking called a bridges. You know bridge how it will be like this, right? Ends and middle. So two ends are connected to the walls of the ventricle. You can see the vents connected to wall of the ventricle with the central free portion. You can see this is central free two ends. So this is one you are seeing, that is called as a moderate band. Moderate band is an example for bridges. Next is about papillary muscle. What are those? You see conical projection. Papillary muscle, these are conical muscular projection, usually 3 in number. So they are named, okay. So they are called as anterior, posterior, and one more is septal. These are the 3 conical projection. You can see they are named. They are called as, they are called as anterior, posterior, and septal. These are the 3 papillary muscle. Then these muscles are attached to atrioventricular orifice, this orifice, by a tendon. These are called a chordae tendineae. You can see it here like this. They are called as a chordae tendineae. So these are the features you see in the ventricles. So the rough inflowing part consists of 3 parts there. They call a ridges, bridges, and papillary muscle. With ridges example is supraventricular crest, bridges example is moderate band, and others are all this papillary muscle, anterior, posterior, and septal. Okay, next you can see in this figure clearly. Okay, so we're looking into this part. You are looking, that is called as a right ventricle. You can clearly see first one, ridges is here, bridges is this one, and these are the what you're looking, they are called atrioventricular. Here there are tendon you're looking, they are called as a chordae tendineae. These are all the chordae tendineae you're looking there. Okay, then the outflowing part, you can see clearly this is the outflowing part. The smooth outflowing part called as the infundibulum. The apex of the infundibulum present pulmonary orifice. You can see a pulmonary, which is guarded by 3 semilunar cusps. The free margin cusps are directed into pulmonary trunk. The free margins to pulmonary trunk. Okay, these are the features in the right ventricle you are looking. Then, next, the right ventricle consists of valve. They are called, one is called tricuspid, one more is pulmonary valve. Tricuspid valve is called a atrioventricular orifice. Means blood from right atrium will flow into right ventricle through the presence of valve. It is called a tricuspid valve. Next one is pulmonary orifice. Okay, pulmonary valve. From the blood from right ventricle will flow through the pulmonary trunk. So there are orifice present called a pulmonary orifice. From there it goes into the lungs. So you can see in this figure about the valve there. These are the difference between right and left ventricle. So you can see right ventricle left. Right ventricle receives deoxygen blood from right atrium and pumps into lung through pulmonary trunk. This one will receive oxygen blood from left atrium, pumps into whole body through aorta. So remember, right ventricle carry deoxygen. From there, the blood will flow through the lungs through pulmonary trunk. Where a left ventricle receives oxygen and blood. From there, it has go to whole of the body through aorta. When you come to the wall thickness, right ventricle is thin, whereas these walls are thick. Papillary muscle, right ventricle 3, there are 2 moderate band present, absent. If you see in the figure here, see this is a left ventricle because you can see the wall thickness, and this is the wall is very thin. So these are the features you see in the class. Go through it. Thank you.